Welcome back to Bold of You to Say. We're back with another episode. In this one, we talked a bit about Elon Musk and his appearance on SNL, and just our feelings on SNL in general, and our feelings on Elon Musk. Not very positive, but yeah, we clowned on some of his sketches and just kind of dissected why is he like this? Why is Elon Musk the way he is? And then we talked about Treasure Planet, the movie that got killed by Santa Claus. No, I will not explain further. You'll just have to listen.
So now we're clickbaiting.
We are clickbaiting. Anything for the almighty dollar. Anything to get our views up. But anyway, follow us on social media. That's all linked down below. Follow me on TikTok and Twitter. Follow Jake on Twitter and Twitch, twitch.tv/Azzy_rivals. Timestamps will be listed out in the description, so you can skip to whatever topic you'd like. If you want to skip all of the Elon Musk SNL stuff, or if you want to skip a certain part, or if you can't wait to get to a certain part, that'll all be listed out down below in the description. We really don't mind. A download is a download. But subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. Turn on notifications, turn on automatic downloads.
Let's get into it.
And let's just jump right into it. So you watched the Elon Musk SNL stuff?
Oh, I did. Oh my god.
So
bad,
what did you think of it?
The appearance was okay. The Gen Z hospital.
Gen Z hospital. Yeah, that one was awful. That was particularly bad.
Gosh. Yes, that was terrible. The Weekend Update, that I'm not gonna lie, that one was pretty good.
That one, yeah, Weekend Update is usually pretty solid.
That one was pretty good. And then the Wario one, I didn't watch the Wario one at all, but like just from the images, it looks like...
You don't have to. It's exactly what you expect.
It looks like a Matt Pat video. Like how it was edited. It looks like a game theory
video. It's somehow worse than a Matt Pat video. No, it's exactly what you expect. It's like, oh, Mario, he got murdered. Oh, Luigi, and then Elon Musk plays Wario, and Wario's like, hey, you know, I may be a greedy capitalist, but and like part of it, like the joke, it seemed, was like reading Wario's wiki page.
What?
They were like, "Oh, this is defamation. Wario, he didn't do it. He's a victim of defamation." And then they were like, "This is real stuff from Wario's wiki page." And then it was like, you know, reading funny stuff, and it's like, I guess this would be funny if it wasn't SNL.
Right.
Like I could see it being done well, but it's a combination of the execution and also like the caliber that they are supposed to be. Like this is supposed to be like really like high level comedy, I guess. Like Saturday Night Live is like it's comedy Mount Rushmore.
This is going to be bold of me to say, but SNL, it recycles the same jokes over and over and over again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
it
completely
seems
agree
like
with you there.
It is like at least 15 years behind of what the internet is like on. It is so
I
far
agree
behind with like relevancy and such.
Yeah, I just think in theory SNL should be a lot better than it is, but in practice it ends up being like, I don't know, their political humor boils down to Democrats are awesome, and that's it. Like Democrats are awesome, Trump is evil, Mitch McConnell is gross. Which it's like, I guess you're not wrong, but it's like I don't know. It's like when they had Kate McKinnon dressed as Hillary Clinton singing Hallelujah on the show. Like it just felt like, do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I don't, dude, I haven't watched like TV, like actual like cable TV in over like 5 years. I do not watch TV at all.
Oh yeah. Yeah, same here. I watch like the occasional SNL clip if it looks good, or like if I'm feeling particularly nostalgic for something. But after the 2016 election, after it was like announced like, oh, Trump is president now. Obviously a lot of people were upset about that, of course, but SNL kind of took it to like a whole other level where
Hmm.
they had Kate McKinnon, who is their like resident Hillary Clinton impersonator, play piano and sing Hallelujah. And it wasn't a joke. When it first happened, I was like, oh, this is like a joke, right? This is like a joke about how like, Democrat bootlickers, like people that are like vote blue no matter who, like that type, like, wine mom liberals are like, bawling their eyes out. Which, like, I don't like Trump being president is bad, of course, but like crying about it, it's just it feels goofy, And I
Yeah.
thought that was going to be the joke. I thought the joke was going to be like, Hillary Clinton is playing the piano and singing Hallelujah. But it was played completely seriously. There was no twist, nothing. It's just we're upset and we're having our demigod play the piano and sing sadly. And it was just weird. It was so weird when that happened. But anyway, Elon Musk hosted
Yes.
this
Back to
last
Elon.
Saturday. Yeah. Uh, I I hate Elon Musk. Not like I hate him personally, of course. He's an awful dude when you really look into it. But just like on vibes alone, like he feels like a lizard wearing a Party City human costume. Like everyone jokes about like Mark Zuckerberg being a lizard person, and they're right. The joke is like, oh, he looks like how do you do, fellow humans?
Right. Yeah. Well, that was the entirety of the Gen Z hospital.
Yeah,
The entirety of the Gen
yeah,
Z hospital was how do you do, fellow humans?
yeah. That one was awful. We'll get
It
to
was
that in a
complete dog. It
second.
was complete dog water.
Oh yeah. But like Elon Musk, just his whole vibe, he feels like he's wearing like a similar human skin suit, like similar to Mark Zuckerberg, but like he got a cheaper version. And he also like he's sort of understanding how to be a human, but like he's not quite there.
I feel like he didn't want to be there at all at
Well,
SNL.
he doesn't want to be anywhere. He doesn't want to be anywhere near people, but he wants attention and he wants adoration.
Isn't that just
Like
everybody though?
I guess, but like Elon is just on a whole other level. Like half of the shit his company does, or I'd say even all of the shit that he has his companies doing is either directly developing technology that'll let him never communicate with anyone ever again. Like the tunnels and shit, uh, and like flying to Mars. Like he just wants to live on Mars. Like
Pretty
that's his
much.
end game. And it feels like everything he does is either directly that or it's in support of that goal. Like Starlink. It's not his end game. His goal is to have internet on Mars, and he wants to, roll it out in poor areas for now to like finance him getting to Mars. And by the way, when I say like he's not human and he's a lizard pretending to be human, like it's not because of his Asperger's, which he just revealed on SNL in his monologue.
Right,
It's
right.
it's not like because he's awkward. Like I know a lot of awkward people.
I mean, I'm one of them, so
Well, right, yeah, I'm awkward too, but like
I
there's a
awkward
difference
too.
between there's a difference though between just being awkward and being an antisocial billionaire lizard man. I mean, I even know personally, like I know awkward people and I know some people that are just like dangerously inhuman. to the point where like I don't know if you saw this, but he did an interview talking about, how he wants to go to Mars, and he was saying like, oh yeah, some people are like the first people that go, a lot of them are going to die, of course. Not as a tragedy, just something like, oh yeah, that's going to happen. It's not like, unfortunately there's a lot of risks involved, and I can't guarantee that, it's not that it's like, yes, some people are going to die so I can have a weekend cottage on Mars. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Like, this man is not a human being. Like, okay, in his monologue, when he brought his mom on stage, like, first of all, I thought that was an actress because it did not feel like he was a son bringing his mother on stage to be like, Happy Mother's Day and all that. It felt like a robot. Like, it felt like Edward Scissorhands, like bringing his creator on stage and being like, this is my inventor. Like, she just had the vibes of like
I
a mad
also,
scientist.
right, and I also felt that her mom or his mom didn't want to be there at all. She was just in it for the money.
Yeah, it felt like okay, I said hi to your little friends. Can I can I
Like, can I
go
leave?
back to can I leave?
Please.
Like, I thought I was just gonna wait in the car. Like, I didn't know I had to go in with you. But yeah, like more like specific stuff about his appearance though. In his monologue, there was one particular part where he was like, yeah, I have Asperger's, and I say a lot of wacky, crazy stuff. So, I'm sorry if I offended anyone, but I did. It was basically like, yeah, sorry if I offended you, but like, I invented the car. Okay. Like, he was
Right,
like,
yeah.
I reinvented the electric car, and I'm bringing people to Mars. And it just felt so masturbatory and gross. Cause like, if you Google him, and you do like a little bit of research into Elon Musk and just his whole thing, like, he's not an inventor. Like, he invests wisely in different, technologies that are, on the rise. But
Right.
he's never invented anything. Anyway, more about his monologue. The OJ joke that he made was pretty good.
Yeah,
I will give him that.
that wasn't bad.
That one was pretty good. I don't know if he wrote it or if someone wrote it for him, but it's pretty good. That was pretty funny. Another note that I had, it felt like in Joker, when he goes on the guy's talk show and he's like, what do you get? I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, but it's the scene where he's like, you get what you fucking deserve. And the whole scene leading up to that, it's like awkward. Like that's what it felt like.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially
It
when he
was
was
just
like,
super
with
awkward.
this being live TV, I can say whatever I want. I could say something crazy. And for a second, we're like, is he gonna crash the stock market? Like,
Well,
is he gonna like,
he kind of did, but we'll talk about that later.
yeah, like, are his words going to make me spontaneously combust? But yeah, let's talk about the Gen Z hospital.
Oh God, I don't want
Yeah,
to talk about it,
after
Alex.
watching
I
Gen
don't
Z
want to talk
Hospital,
about it,
I
dude.
understand now. I understand now why Dogecoin crashed. After watching that, it makes me want to sell everything I own and live on an island and just lay there and contemplate how we got to this point.
It was terrible.
Yeah, like the entirety of Gen Z Hospital, that sketch, like the joke was like, haha, this is what young people sound like, and that's it.
Right.
Like, these are things that young people say. Now laugh. It's like, oh, wow, bestie, that's Cap. It's the TikTok for me. It's the Supreme urn for me, bestie. Like, it
Dude,
felt like,
and hearing Elon say stuff just like it made my soul die.
oh yeah, for sure. I don't know. It made me feel pain in my soul. Like, I had to sit for a second Like I had to take a break during the middle of that sketch because just the whole thing is like how like it felt like you know how like when millennials were starting to become a thing and it was like, oh, avocado toast, Snapchat, let me Instagram that.
Yeah.
And like dabbing isn't dabbing funny, haha, this is what young people do. Like it's that but for Gen Z
Right. Yeah.
because it
It's not
happens.
funny. It makes you look like an idiot.
Oh yeah, it's never been funny. Any joke that is just this is what young people do, one, it's going to age horribly
Yep.
because every generation has it. Like in the 80s it's like, oh, with the boom boxes and the haircuts and like fucking in like the 1800s it was like, oh, these kids with their paper and their pencils.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it's like the fucking iPads. The kids young people have iPhones. Now laugh.
Yeah. What about it? You have an iPhone too.
Yeah, so like, and every generation, like the young people, it's just they're normal people. They're just people.
Right.
They have different trends, like different styles and stuff. And so when you like take that and bring it to its extreme and be like, this is young people, it feels like these are mostly like 20 somethings in the cast, right? Like it's like these are largely millennials
Hmm.
in the SNL cast.
Right.
Like there are, maybe some that are over 30, but I mean for the most part they're fairly young people. But that sketch immediately made them feel like they were in their 50s.
Yeah.
Like it aged them so much.
So I have a theory about like I guess the entire thing, the entire SNL like event that happened with Elon. He most likely didn't write any of it. It was
Oh
all
yeah.
it was all pre-written, and they set him up so
Oh
that he
god.
would look like a jackass.
I don't know. SNL already makes them like themselves look like jackasses all the time on accident. So I don't know. I don't know if they're that smart. I don't know. My theory behind it is that like the whole reason he's on the show is that he like bribed them
Right.
or like he gave Lorne Michaels a Tesla and he's like, "Hey, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Get me on the show." Cuz like who's other than like Joe Rogan fans, who is asking for this?
Nobody.
Yeah, like I don't know. It just feels so like out of nowhere, yet also kind of on brand for SNL actually. Cause like I got a similar vibe with some of the sketches. Like I didn't send you these, but there was one sketch that they did. Do well, you probably don't know because you don't watch it, but there's this ongoing like character that they have that Pete Davidson plays called Chad. And they've had some sketches with him. It's usually like he's paired with whatever actress is hosting, and it's like it's like a love story. Like Chad's the pool boy and she's like a housewife in a loveless marriage, and it's like, oh, I want you so bad but I know I can't, oh, but I can't resist you, and it's played up so like dramatically. And by the way, these are like legitimately good sketches. And you have the one person that's like, oh, Chad, I'm so drawn to you, and Chad's like, okay. And he just plays everything so like casually. It's like, Chad, will you run away with me? He's like, cool.
That's
And
just me in any situation.
but yeah, they did one of those, but it's Chad and he's on Mars for some reason. And he's on one of Elon Musk's like Mars colonies. And it's like, oh, the oxygen is depleted in the base, and there's solar winds on the planet, and we need someone to go and reset the hack the mainframe, push the button to make everything okay. And Chad's like, I'll do it. And so they send him out, and he pushes button. It's like, oh, this man's a hero. And he's like, cool. And they're like, now give the camera a good look at your face. We need people to see the person that saved the future of humanity in space. He's like, okay. And he takes off his helmet and fucking dies. And the joke is it's fine. Like, it's a Chad sketch. It's all right. But it feels like an Elon Musk fantasy.
I can see that. I can see that.
Like, it feels like Elon Musk was like, oh yeah, oh, and have one where we're on a Mars base. Oh, I'm so fucking close. Like that's what it feels like. And it's the same thing as when they had Donald Trump on hosting SNL before he won the election, and they cried about it. They had him on, and they did a sketch that was literally just, wouldn't it be awesome if Trump was president?
And then he won.
Yeah. Like, that's what it felt like.
So maybe SNL rigged the election.
It's weird, because it's like SNL, like, they are the types that are like, oh, the Russians in the election and they hacked it, but also they did help Trump campaign. Like, they directly helped his campaign effort by doing sketches that are like, Donald Trump is president now, and unemployment is eradicated. North Korea is now a democracy because he signed a deal with them. And that's the joke. The joke is just, isn't Trump so awesome? And that's what it felt like a lot with. Okay, there was another sketch that they did with Elon Musk where it was like the Old West, and Elon Musk was basically playing an Old West version of himself. And it's like, oh, the whatever gang, they snuck up on us and they killed the beloved bartender. And they were like, oh, we got to get him back. We got to run in guns blazing. And Elon Musk is like, well, hold on. Why don't we just like tunnel underground and do a sneak attack? And they're like, oh, you're crazy. That'll never work. And he's like, well, it would. And they're like, nah, you're crazy. But like the whole, like, the underlying message is that Elon Musk is a visionary inventor and his tunnels are awesome and people just don't understand. Like, that's the subtext. And it just, like I said earlier, it's masturbatory. Like, I swear, it's like, now that the clips are out, I'm sure he touches himself to them. And it gets at the whole issue with people treating Elon Musk like he's Tony Stark, when really he is just a guy that invests in stuff and is not even a good CEO. Like, he's good at making money, I'll give him that, but he's not good when it comes to like employee relations.
Like what has he made besides just a bunch of just network connections with people? That's all he's done.
That's pretty much it. My understanding is that he co-founded PayPal.
Okay, and
I don't know the details of that, but that was like his first major business venture. But that's not what made his fortune, by the way. That's not what like got him his like startup money. No, his parents owned an emerald mine in South Africa. So like his fortune comes from exploited miners, and it's, he got his fortune like unethically, and then he goes on to found he didn't even found Tesla, his like, his most famous company other than SpaceX. He bought the company, and then he bought the title of founder. And now he's doing like union busting. Like, he won't let his employees unionize. Like, he makes it very difficult, and he takes away their stock options if they attempt to unionize. And he even like harassed one employee that tried to, or it was a whistleblower. He harassed a whistleblower and sued him for like $160,000, I believe. So like, not only did his fortune come from exploited labor and unethical practices, but he's continuing that to this day. And people treat him like he's fucking Iron Man. People treat him like a goddamn hero. And that gets back to what I was saying earlier, how he doesn't feel like a genuine human being. Because he's somehow this like robber baron type, this mad CEO, but he also acts like a 15-year-old on Twitter, and he does Among Us memes. So it's like it feels like a real Jekyll and Hyde situation, where it's like, haha, funny memes, epic poggers, Chungus 100, but also I will kill you if you attempt to form a union.
He's like it's like two complete like polar opposites.
Yeah, it's weird. It also bothers me that people treat him, in a similar way to how people act like he's, Tony Stark because he bought some stuff. It also annoys me that people treat him like an expert on just stuff. Like people treat him like an expert on like space travel. Some people even treat him like an expert on COVID, where like, and he's not even that good at like predicting stuff. Like it's like, oh, Elon Musk predicts that we will be in space by 2030 and we'll have Mars colonies and all that stuff. But like, man thought COVID was gonna be done in April 2020. And he was like doing all this like COVID denial stuff, which he hasn't even really apologized for, as far as I know. He's said like, oh, I was mistaken about this, but like he never really apologized for breeding this sense of like this lack of caution in his fan base. And that's really what it is, a fan base. Like he's a fucking football player or an actor. Like the way that I think of him, like, and I just thought of this comparison earlier watching his appearance on SNL. Elon Musk is like Bill Gates for libertarians, where people treat Bill Gates like he's some kind of expert on COVID vaccines, and he's an expert on, just the coronavirus in general, when really he's just a guy that owns stuff. And like Bill Gates is generally right about like, you got to get vaccinated, you got to, wear a mask and stuff, like, yeah, obvious stuff. Never mind his whole, hey, let's not give poor countries the right to produce the COVID vaccine. I want to make money off of it still. Like that.
Yeah, that's in pretty poor taste.
It is. Aside from that, though, he's usually pretty right. But it's still weird that we treat him like an expert just because he's a billionaire or just because he owns companies. And it's the same thing with Elon Musk, but instead of like wine mom liberals, it's like libertarians and like Joe Rogan fans. These like dude bros that sort of know a little bit about science, but they think science is like, yeah, go to the gym and eat elk and that will make you live forever. And like that's the extent to which they know anything about, like, I don't know, just living. But yeah, that's pretty much my analysis of Elon Musk's appearance. Some parts were funny, but overall, I'd say it was just weird, and I don't like Elon Musk.
I think
he's not a human. He's a fucking lizard.
I think he's okay. I just don't know why he decided to sign up for this. Besides look at me, haha, I'm on TV.
Yeah, it's definitely just like, I don't know. I've heard that he's like a fan of stand-up comedy, and I think a lot of people treat stand-up as just something that like, oh, you can just,
you can just do it.
I don't know, they treat it as just something that like, if you like it enough, you can do it. And it's not just about being a fan of it, it's more than that, but it feels like, well, this is a man that's never had an obstacle in his life other than we can't live on Mars. Like that's his only major obstacle, really.
Right, yeah.
Like he was born rich, he's always been rich, and so he hasn't really, like, he hasn't had to like worry where his next meal is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
you know? So he just kind of does stuff because he has never had any challenges. So he's like, I'm going to go on SNL and it's going to be great. And it's not going to be gross and weird. But by the way, before I forget to mention it, there's a video from this YouTube channel, Some More News, that I've plugged before on the show, but he did a video on Elon Musk and just like why he's the worst, you know, talking specifically about like his business practices and, you know, his constant like talking about like, you know, going to Mars and, you know, saving humanity from climate change, but also kind of denying climate change, but also saying it's a crisis, but also it's not that bad. And, you know, like making these tunnels, these weird tunnels that end up just being subways, but more expensive and with extra steps. But yeah, it's a good watch. Link in description. Check it out. Also, I wanted to get into this a bit. And Jake, I think you know a bit more about this than I do. I've only seen like the headlines, but apparently, post his appearance on SNL, Dogecoin, which Elon Musk, you know, through a tweet made skyrocket. Apparently, it's now tanking.
Yeah, well, let me take a look at CoinDesk. Oh, never mind. I thought it went back up a little bit. No, it's just been continuously going down, down.
Okay, I got to see this. I got to see it for
I'll
myself.
I'll send you a link. So if we go 1 week, so it hit like a, oh wow, never mind. It is actually, yeah, okay. So it is quite low, but not as low as I thought. On May 9th, it went down to like 45, like sorry, yeah, 45 cents. And then after, like before the SNL, people were hyping it up. So Dogecoin was going up a bit. So it was at like 58, 57. Then it dropped back down to a low of 46. Hold on. My bad. A low of 44. But it's going back up a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah. So because of
So yeah,
because of Elon,
in layman's terms, it's a lot lower than it has been in the past few days.
yeah. Yep.
Like it's had some ups and downs just over the past week, but it's pretty low at the moment.
Yep. Yeah. I'm sure it'll go up over time, but right now it's definitely the lowest that it's been since its first kind of skyrocket price back in April of 2021, which hit like a peak of like 41 cents. So potentially I don't do investments or stocks or anything, but potentially right now may be a decent time to buy. Possibly. I don't dabble with cryptocurrencies at all. They're basically, in my opinion, it's just stocks. And that's basically all they are. They're just stocks.
Yeah, it's gambling, really.
Well, and that's what stocks are. Stocks are gambling as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I prefer to buy things that exist.
Now,
And I know that's a pretty boomer take. I will admit that's a pretty boomer take. But anyway, the whole like Dogecoin thing with the price, you know, tanking after his appearance, it makes that Weekend Update sketch even funnier, I think.
yep.
The one where it's like, yeah, so what is Dogecoin? And Elon's like, it's this cryptocurrency. It's awesome. It's going to go to the moon.
Yeah, but what is
Not-
it? I think
What
that
is
was
it?
the bad.
It's down 17.9%.
That's
what it is.
I I love that skit because it I guess it kind of embodiments like people who don't know about it. So like basically everybody who watches SNL, people who don't know about, you know,
It embodies me.
yeah, well, yeah, same with me because like I hardly know anything about cryptocurrencies or NFTs or any of that shit.
Yeah. It's like when we were talking about NFTs. It's like, what are they?
I still don't know.
Seriously,
Yeah,
what are they?
What are NFTs? I have no idea what they are.
I have sort of an idea of it. it's like a thing, right? You buy the thing, but it's digital. But it's not like Google Play. It's not like when you buy a movie on Google Play, right? You buy it and you can watch the thing. No, you buy it and you own it. Well, you don't own the rights to it. It's like if you buy a Mickey Mouse NFT, you don't own Disney, but like you own that image. But like I can also download it from Google Images, but like I don't own that. But like with the NFT, I don't own the image. I own a link to the image, and that link costs $50,000. Like that's what I've gathered. That seems to be basically what NFTs are. That seems to be the whole thing. You spend, $500,000 on a link to a file that you can get for free. And somehow somehow it's lasted more than a week. But anyway, do you want to move on to what you wrote down about FNF? I'm not sure what that is.
So FNF is
I see erect mode and I am intrigued.
Okay, so FNF is a game called Friday Night Funkin'. You may have heard of it before. Does it ring a bell at all?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think
Have you ever heard
of
of Newgrounds?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what Newgrounds is?
Sort of. It's like a website for people that make like art and like there's like games on it, I think.
Yeah, it's like games, animation, art, music.
Okay. Is that what Newgrounds stands for?
No. I have no idea what Newgrounds stands for.
Newgrounds, an acronym for lots of stuff.
But anyways, so a whole bunch of people collaborated on Newgrounds to create this game called Friday Night Funkin', which is like a combination of like all the culture from Newgrounds mixed with Dance Dance Revolution. So it's like Dance Dance Revolution mixed with the culture of Newgrounds mixed with like music from Splatoon. So like you can't understand it, but it still slaps. It blew up. I think it came out like 4 or 5 months ago, and within like the first month, people were making tons of content for it. People were making mods. It was constantly getting updated.
That's awesome. So this is like a rhythm game?
Yep, it's a rhythm game.
Okay. So you said it's like Dance Dance Revolution. Is it like with the dance pad, or is
no,
it
you use the keyboard
thing?
But there are ways that you can get it to work with a DDR pad. Actually, that'd be a fun thing to try to get it work. I have a DDR pad. I should try to get it to work. Anyways, so every single like
does it work with the Donkey Kong bongos?
I'm sure you can get it to work with the Donkey Kong bongos.
The best Smash controller.
People have played Clone Hero with the Donkey Kong bongos. It's amazing.
God. Yeah, I've seen like beating Minecraft with a racing wheel, and it's like touch grass. Fucking go outside.
There's a person on YouTube named Anomaly, and he plays CS:GO in like the weirdest way possible. So he had like Rock Band drum set, Guitar Hero guitar, a ball mouse, a Wacom tablet. And anyways, we are completely getting sidetracked. So this game, it got super popular. A whole bunch of people made mods for it, songs. It blew up, tons of fan art. So they said, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna make a full game. So how it's like split up into for like levels is there's different weeks. And then each of those weeks have three songs. So it'll start off like easy, then go to like a medium kind of hard song, and then a hard song. And every single one has like their own different theme. So you'll be like rapping against your girlfriend's dad or your girlfriend's mom. Or,
we've all been there.
Or Pico, who's a school shooter. That's not a joke. He's yes. What? They let me send it. Peek.
Okay, I need more info on this. So the character the character is a school shooter.
No. One of the characters that you rap against is a school shooter.
That you rap against. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so at least they're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Is this like
so
I've
you
got to
are...
keep him distracted before the cops come? Like, is it that kind of thing, or is it like, hey, not I never talked to him. Maybe if I did, things would be different, but I never talked to him. Never realized, kind of a rap god. I need to rap battle him. What is the setup for a rap battle against a school shooter? Oh, and I see what the image that you sent.
Yes, that is Pico.
He looks like, how some people have that bumper sticker and it's like a cartoon child pissing on something.
Yes.
Usually something that they don't like. It looks like that kid, but he's holding a microphone in one hand and a gun in the other. And it answers no questions and only leaves me feeling scared and confused. But anyway, do explain.
Yes. So you're basically rapping against a whole bunch of different characters, and so the character's name that you play as, his name is Boyfriend. That's his name. His name is Boyfriend. And then you have to impress your girlfriend by rapping against.
Let me guess. Her
people.
Name is Girlfriend.
Yes. Her name is Girlfriend. A very original name.
Well, it's a good thing they ended up dating.
The perfect couple for one another.
My name's Boyfriend. This is my coworker girlfriend. Before you ask, yes, it does make interactions in the workplace awkward, but we recognize that we are two different people with just very inconvenient names. Now, please don't ask us about it again, because we're tired of answering. In fact, here's a pamphlet with an answer to every question you could ask about us. They're right there. God, it's so lucky they ended up together. Or else they would have needed that pamphlet. Anyway, sorry I keep interrupting.
Yes,
Go on.
Continue to get completely derailed. So, it becomes super, super popular. And they decide, fuck it, let's make it a full game. So they put out a trailer, and they made a Kickstarter for it. The Kickstarter has 7 days to go, and it currently has $1,873,556.
Nice.
Their goal was $60,000. So they blew it out of the water. So if you're familiar with Kickstarter, they have stretch goals. So basically, the more money that they get, the more content they'll put in. So either what's going to happen is they're going to pull a Mighty Number 9 and fuck it all up, or they're going to pull a Shovel Knight and do really, really well. So the base game, this was before any of the stretch goals were added. It adds 20 new weeks, which is going to be 60 songs. They're going to have cutscenes, local multiplayer, different playable characters, online leaderboard, better visuals, mod support, custom charting interfaces so people can make their own songs, translation, collaboration with different artists, hiring musicians, and then they're going to release it on Steam. So the stretch goals include the mobile build, custom character creator, sharing network, fully animated cutscenes, 5 more additional weeks online multiplayer, 5 more additional weeks on top of that, 10 playable characters, 5 more additional weeks, erect difficulty, and a 10-week epilogue. So all of those weeks combined, that's 120 levels, or like 120 levels / songs. When they reached erect difficulty, they basically have to remake the songs all over again. So basically double the songs to 240.
So erect, oh, I get it. I was gonna ask if erect is like, so I was gonna say, so erect is a harder difficulty, and then I realized it's because it's hard.
But yeah, it's just insane that they were able to get like this crazy amount of money And then of course if you pledge
Yeah, that's impressive.
also like just one small web Flash game, get like almost $2 million. Well, not Flash, I guess, because Flash is dead. But
R.I.P.
rip Flash, my childhood.
F in the chat for Flash.
I'm really excited for this game to come out. There's going to be so much. There's just going to be a stupid amount of content, especially if they're going to have like a really good, proper mod support. It should be extremely easy to make mods for this game. I mean, hell, they have the original source code for the game for Friday Night Funkin'. They put it out on GitHub. People can just download it and do whatever the hell they want with it. It's like Clone Hero. It's totally community made, and it's made to be modded the shit out of.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's the title of this again?
Friday Night Funkin'.
And is this so this is just on Kickstarter? Is it up on Steam? Like, can you add it to your wish list?
It's not on wishlist, but you can play. The most up-to-date version is going to be on Newgrounds, where they have Week 7. Week 7 is a Newgrounds exclusive, and that's a versus against Tankman. You can also download, I guess, the quote-unquote demo version of the game on itch.io. We'll include links for all this in the description, of course.
Yeah.
But you can download it on itch.io. That's, in my opinion, the preferred way to play. The only thing that I have a gripe about it, and of course, me being me, frames, it doesn't go above 63 frames per second, no matter if you're playing the web version or the downloaded version.
63?
Yeah, it's really weird.
That's a weird number.
Yeah, but it's really weird because when I ran they had like a teaser. I think it's on their itch.io page actually. They had a teaser for it, and it ran at an uncapped frame rate with no issues. So I'm hoping that for the final release of this game, they'll have it run at an uncapped frame rate. Oh, I didn't mention the ridiculous goals that they had.
Yeah, what kind of ridiculous goals do they have?
So if they got $3 million, they will create a PlayStation 1 port. If this stretch goal is reached, we will port Friday Night Funkin' to PlayStation 1 and sell physical copies, even if it's at a loss, because goddamn, it would just be too sick. If they got 4 million, they would make a Friday Night Funkin' anime. If they got 5 million, they would remake Pico's School and Pico's School 2. Those were the first games released on Newgrounds. So, if you really want,
let's send it to the moon, baby.
Yeah, if you really want that PlayStation 1 port, there's still 7 days to go. I mean, I would get that PlayStation 1 port. That'd be cool.
Some people are like PlayStation 5. Some people are like Xbox Series X. Some people are like PC. I'm like PS1 Master Race all the way. That's where it peaked.
Really quick side.
I'm just gonna say it.
Super quick side.
Pre-analog sticks. Analog sticks. That's what marked the decline in quality in gaming. I'm just gonna say it. And, I might get canceled for it. Okay, I might get cancel cultured for saying that, but it's just the truth. Okay, it's biology. Okay, sue me.
Well, I'm sorry to inform you, Alex, but the PS1 had analog sticks.
Yeah, no, for a little, they added it to the controller.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about
like the original,
the original controller, the original one where it's just a glorified SNES
it's a glorified
controller.
SNES controller. Yep.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna go on a quick side tangent.
That was the peak. Okay,
super quick side tangent. So, in my opinion, just talking about PlayStation stuff, if you want the ultimate, like if you could only have 2 consoles and you want to play everything PlayStation, you get yourself a fat PS3 that can play PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. Then you get yourself a PlayStation 5 that can play PS5 and PS4 games. You're set. You have 5 generations of PlayStation in 2 consoles.
Man, all I need is just a PlayStation 3 and a copy of Captain America Super Soldier. I know I said no analog sticks, but I am willing to make an exception.
Did I ever tell you my weird obsession with Ratatouille the video game?
Well, I know you told me, you showed me your PC copy of the game, and I remember you mentioning that the speed is like tied to the frame rate. So like,
Yes, I
you know,
can't
whatever
beat it.
the normal frame rate is. Yeah, so like if it runs at like 30 frames per second, that's the normal speed, or 60 or whatever the normal one is.
60.
But if you have it unlocked, okay, 60. If you have it unlocked and it's going at like 144 frames per second, it's like more than double speed.
Well,
That's all that I remember.
no. It wasn't double speed. The game ran perfectly fine at an uncapped frame rate. It's the physics were tied to the frame rate.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
So like the last mission, I had to like hit these fish into like this bowl or something. Or no, it was like hit these bags of crabs into like a pot so they could boil. And I couldn't hit it at all for some reason. It was really weird. So unfortunately, the speed run is dead for that one. I can't complete it. I'd have to underclock my graphics card. Um, but no, the whole
Well, can't you just set the refresh rate on your monitor to 60?
yeah, I guess. Um, so
It's
my
just too much.
my goal in life is to collect every single version of the Ratatouille video game to ever exist. Now, that probably sounds pretty simple,
You know what that
right?
reminds me of?
Go ahead.
Well, how many? Well, I was just gonna say that reminds me of this account that keeps getting recommended to me on TikTok. It's this, I guess, this couple that just collects copies of the Adam Sandler movie Click.
That's it? They just collect Click?
Yep, they have like shelves full of like DVD and VHS copies of Click.
Oh my god.
And they're like, here's today's resale store haul, and it's a box full of DVD copies of Click. And I, for the life of me, do not understand. I understand collecting movies. I understand collecting, Adam Sandler movies. I just don't understand collecting specifically Adam Sandler's Click.
It's amazing.
I mean, that's got to be proof that we live in a simulation, right? And they're a glitch. I don't know, but anyway, sorry, I was interrupting you.
You're fine.
You were saying
So there are 11 versions of Ratatouille, the video game. We have it for Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Windows, DS, Apple OS X, PlayStation 2, PlayStation PSP, Wii, Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox 360, and PS3, my bad. And fun fact that the original Xbox version is a GameStop exclusive. I'm not kidding on that one.
well, what else am I supposed to get it on then? Only one of the 10 other platforms, I guess.
Actually, my version of Ratatouille is very special for the PC version because it's both the Windows and the Mac version in one copy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it on Steam?
No, it's not on Steam. You have to get a physical copy of the game.
Dang.
So be on the lookout because it's gonna start going up in price after I start collecting all these.
It's gonna go to the moon.
It's gonna go to the moon.
I'm gonna collect PC copies of Ratatouille.
Let me go on eBay and see how much they are. Part of me was thinking, hey, let me actually buy like sealed copies of every single one. But I feel like that'd be a little overkill.
Yeah, the demand makes the price go up so much, and then you just sell it off.
Ooh, here you go. Oh, I never saw this one before. I may have to get this one. It's The Incredibles, Cars, and Ratatouille all in one package. Action pack.
A bargain.
3 games in one. $13. That actually is quite a bargain because
it's a bargain. You gotta grab that.
The original PC Mac version is only $11. So for $2 more, you get 2 more games. You get The Incredibles and Cars.
And I'm sure it's worth roughly that amount for each of those games. It's definitely worth the extra $1 per game.
Here we go. So here's a brand new factory sealed copy of Ratatouille for PC for 20 here's one for $15. What the hell is
All right,
wrong
yeah, you
with
gotta
me?
order that and hold on
What
to
the
it.
fuck is wrong with me?
It's gonna be worth something someday. That that $15 sealed copy of Ratatouille for the PC could someday turn into an $8 copy of Ratatouille for the PC.
Oh yes, I'm not sure if I told you, but I have the 360 version, and not only is it just the 360 version, it is also the Platinum Family Hits version in a silver case.
Ooh, that's worth
Oh
something.
yeah, I got this at GT Games. My goal is I keep on going to GT Games every single time to try to find a copy, like copies of Ratatouille. This has been the only one that I found. I'm still trying to find the other versions.
Maybe I do understand that couple that collects copies of Adam Sandler's Click. 'Cause I thought it was just them with this weird obsession, but maybe it's more common than I think. Maybe they're not alone. Anyway, do you want to get into this week's movie pick of the week?
Sure, let's get into this week's movie pick of the week, starting this week.
Yes. So this week we watched Treasure Planet as per Jake's recommendation, and I gotta say, just overall going into it, pretty good.
Did I hype it up too
Pretty
much?
good. No, I say you hyped it up an appropriate amount. But anyway, before we get into our general thoughts and specific non-general thoughts, I'll give a quick plot recap, and I'll try to make it as quick and as concise as possible. So the movie opens with a retelling of the tale of Captain Flint, a Blackbeard sort of legendary pirate, and the movie's protagonist, Jim Hawkins, as a little baby, is he's watching this tale play out on his little holographic storybook, which is really just a glorified iPad with extra steps. But yeah, he's watching this tale unfold in front of him, and he's amazed by this pirate that would swoop in, steal shit, and then leave without a trace. So yeah, you see, he's intrigued by pirate stories, and he's like, I'm gonna explore and shit like that. So then 12 years later, Jim is now a delinquent with a knack for skateboarding through mines. And so he gets caught by the popo, the fuzz, and he gets brought back to his home, the Benbow Inn. And his mom's like, "What the fuck? What are you doing?" So he goes outside to sulk for a bit, and the call to action happens. This turtle guy shows up out of nowhere, warning of a cyborg and his band of cutthroats. This turtle guy, he dies, leaving Jim with a map to Treasure Planet. And then the cyborg shows up, burns down the Benbow. Jim, Dr. Delbert Doppler, and his mother they escape, and they're like, well, when life hands you a treasure map, you follow it and go to Treasure Planet.
And what a cool treasure map that is, honestly.
Yeah, it's this like orb. If if you haven't seen it, which by the way, yeah, but watch the movie, then come back to this. Spoilers ahead. Anyway, this map, it's like an orb, sort of like the orb in Guardians of the Galaxy, but instead of an Infinity Stone, it houses this holographic map that leads to Treasure Planet. So Jim and Delbert head to the spaceport to meet up with the ship that they chartered. They meet the captain of the ship, Amelia, who warns them of the crew being kind of untrustworthy. Which, by the way, the captain's introduction, God, do I want her to step on me? And that's exactly what happens to Delbert. He's like, "Hey, we got this treasure map," and she's like, "Shut the fuck up." Don't you know? One of the crew members is an imposter.
God damn it. Shut up. You know what? Fuck you. I'm done.
I'm sorry.
Done.
My
done.
brain is rotted. He left. Now he's back. So anyway, Amelia's like, "Hey, this crew is sus. I don't know why you hired them." But yeah, they keep the map under, lock and key. So yeah, Captain Amelia assigns Jim to work with the cook, Mr. Silver. By the way, in the original source material, Treasure Island, his name is Long John Silver, like the restaurant. And I feel like this movie was too cowardly to name him Long John Silver. They only refer to him as Mr. Silver. That is not important at all. I felt the need to say it. So he's assigned to work with Long John Silver, like the restaurant, who he immediately is like, this guy is sus. First of all, he's a cyborg. So, Jim's doing some racial profiling. He's like, this guy is a cyborg. He the guy warned me about a cyborg. But then, after Jim leaves, Silver's like, hey, we gotta keep an eye on this guy. He's gonna get into some trouble if he doesn't watch out. Which immediately reassures the audience that, yeah, Jim's profiling was right. But anyway, later on, Jim is swabbing the poop deck, and he notices some of the crew being sus. They're like, hey, watch where you watch what you're doing, and they like almost kill him, but then Silver steps in. Later on, Silver meets up with the crew, and he's like, hey, you guys cannot be starting any kind of ruckuses, no shenanigans, none of that before it's time to do our mutiny. So they're planning a mutiny, and they're like, well, what if the boy, because they don't want him to like suss them out and report them as the imposter. Silver's like, oh, I'm gonna run that boy so ragged, I'm gonna work him so hard, I'm gonna have so much father-son bonding with this boy that he won't have the time or energy to stop us. So then, of course, we get a montage of father-son bonding. The ship comes across a star that's gone supernova and turns into a black hole. And Jim is assigned to like tie everyone down, get lifelines secured. But one of the bad guy sus imposter crewmates cuts off Mr. Arrow, the captain's like right hand man, and Jim gets blamed for that. Silver then gives him a pep talk, and he's like, "Hey, you're a good kid." The next morning, Jim wakes up, chases Morphe, this little morph alien thingy, into a barrel, and then while he's in the barrel, he witnesses the crew talking about the mutiny, realizes Silver is, and at this point I just wrote, realizes Silver is Among Us reference. He realizes Silver is the imposter, and Silver's like, oh, I never cared about him. I only did father-son bonding to fill a void. I mean, to get him off our trail. So the ship reaches Treasure Planet. Silver's like, all right, we got to do the mutiny now. The ragtag group of protagonists escape with what they think is the map, but then it turns out to be Morphe, which, by the way, if you need this recap for you, Morphe is like this little blob of alien goo, and it can like transform into stuff. But anyway, they escape with what they think is the map, but it turns out to be Morphe. Once they get to the planet's surface, Jim scouts out the area and finds Ben, a robot that got abandoned on the planet by Captain Flint, and then he takes him back to his shag pad. Silver and his crew catch up to them and demand the map, giving them 24 hours. And Jim sneaks back to the ship with Ben to deactivate the laser cannons and retrieve the map. Jim and Ben get back to Ben's shag pad, but find Silver and his crew awaiting their return. And Silver takes Jim, Delbert, and Captain Amelia along with his crew. They follow the map, and they get to the end of the map, and they come across a portal that is activated by the orb that houses the map, and they realize that this portal is how Captain Flint was able to go around and pillage and plunder and take people's gold. So yeah, they find this portal, which you'd think would be the treasure. Like that's enough of a treasure for me, I'd say. But also there's a lot of gold. A lot of gold is the treasure too. And Jim finds Flint's skeleton along with Ben's mind, his like neural chip thing, which Ben has been missing throughout the movie, so he doesn't like remember stuff. Ben recovers his memories and tells him about the booby trap that's going to make the whole planet explode. So as this is happening, as the planet is going through its self-destruct process, Silver has to choose between, keeping Flint's treasure, either saving the treasure or saving Jim from falling into the planet's molten core. Silver makes the right choice, and everyone gets back on the ship to get away from the planet's self-destruction. And as all hope looks lost, Jim realizes that they can use the portal to get out because the ship didn't have enough like thrust to break the planet's gravitational field. So Jim's like, hey, we can use the portal. I'm gonna skateboard back to it like in the beginning of the movie, and I'm gonna switch it back so we can, go home. And after they get back home, Jim catches Silver trying to escape because he's like, hey, I don't want to go to prison. Okay, I ain't going back. He's like, what are you gonna do, you old scalawag? And Silver tosses Jim some sorry I burned your house down money and offers to take Jim with him. But unfortunately for Silver, Jim has had too much character development up to this point to accept Silver's offer. So it seems that Jim has learned a very valuable lesson. The true treasure was the friends we made along the way.
Fucking damn it.
And that's Treasure Planet.
Trust me, audience. It's a lot better than what he described it with all the Among Us memes. Trust me.
Oh yeah, every movie that I describe is better than I describe it. But yeah, so overall general impressions of the movie, it's a pretty good tale. It's a great story about, coming into your own. It's a great, found family story. Generally makes the viewer feel it's kind of a feel good story. Everything works out. It's all wrapped up nicely. It's a Disney story, but it's in space, so that automatically makes it 10 times cooler.
Honestly, I love this movie. It's just so good. I don't know how to describe it. It's just so good.
Yeah. Well, I think the surrogate father stuff, like, Jim and Silver bonding, like, I think that's all like really well done.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great story about like, finding new family, and
it's a different take from the original.
It definitely is. Well, with being in space and everything, but also character differences
not
too,
that,
of course.
But so in the original Treasure Island, to be honest, I never watched the original Treasure Island. After watching Treasure Planet, I don't care to watch the original Treasure Island because this is just so much better.
I don't think I watched the original Treasure Island movie. I read the book. It was in school. It was I think it was in 6th grade English.
Yes.
We read Treasure Planet or Treasure Island.
The good old forced reading.
Yeah. Then we watched a movie from, I think, like the 80s or like early 90s, but it wasn't the original one from 1950. But yeah, from what I remember, I don't think the main character and Long John Silver, like the restaurant, had any sort of kind of like father-son relationship.
I don't think they did.
And there are other differences too, like Ben Gunn, who is, Ben's counterpart in Treasure Island. He, of course, is not a robot. So that's another difference. But anyway, yeah, back to like what I was saying before, though, about like the Silver and Jim relationship. I think that adds a lot to it because, of course, there's going to be the betrayal and the mutiny. And in the source material, of course, it's like, a mutiny is always going to be like scary and stuff. But there's also an element of betrayal to it in this version. And you really feel that after seeing Jim and Silver spend all this time together, really bonding. And it's just, it felt believable. It felt natural. It felt, you really just, you feel it.
Right.
You really feel it.
So this is one of the main differences between Treasure Planet and Treasure Island. With Treasure Planet, the main character had their father through the entirety of the film, and then they eventually die.
This is a kid that's loved by both of his parents.
Right, and then
boring.
Right. So this, for Treasure Planet, they changed it up so that his dad just leaves one day, just never explains it or anything. He just leaves one day. So there's more, I guess, like character growth, I suppose. I'm not sure how to describe it. I'm terrible.
Well, it also makes him feel more like fleshed out.
Right. So that's why he has such that strong relationship with Silver, is because he's, he sees like a father figure in him. So that's why he becomes attached to him.
Yeah, just personally speaking, I find that really relatable. it adds a lot to the story. Because, like, if it's just like some kid that has two parents that love him and he meets some dude and then the dude turns out to be evil, it's like, yeah, shit happens. But when it's, someone that grew up without a strong father figure that then meets someone that fills that role, it makes the betrayal that much stronger. And that's that was a really good writing choice. But talking more generally about the movie, I want to talk a little bit about the general atmosphere and sort of the vibe of the world that this movie builds.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me it feels like this perfect blend of like 3,000 years in the future, but also like 16th century that I love. I love that. Like Haley mentioned when we were watching this, she said it's steampunk done right.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. So the directors, when they were making the film, they had a 70-30 rule. So they had 70% wanted it to be kind of like old 18th, 16th century kind of clothing and I guess kind of architecture. And then 30% is gonna be like the more futuristic stuff. And not only did that apply to the movie itself, but it also applied to the music as well. So they had 70% was just kind of like older kind of music, and then they had kind of like a 30% kind of like a pop rock for it was the credits theme, and When Silver is with Jim. I believe, yeah, the song is called I'm Still Here, and I don't remember the other song. Yeah, so they kind of had that kind of 70% and 30% throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I really appreciate how much thought and effort went into blending the futurism and the old timiness. Like the music 100% feels like
It doesn't feel out of place.
it doesn't feel out of place. Exactly. It really they put a lot of thought into making it have the same kind of feel as, some kind of like old like sea shanty. Like it has that kind of like beat and rhythm to it. And but of course it's, obviously, contemporary pop, like pop slash rock. And I really appreciate movies that have that sort of balance and they do it really well. I think another movie that does that similar sort of balance is A Knight's Tale, which we covered on the podcast a couple months ago. But A Knight's Tale, we never really mentioned it during our review for it, but the music in that, like, there's certain parts where they take like 70s rock songs, but blend it perfectly well with this like medieval theme, and it flows like there's one part where they're at like a ball and it's like, like this like 15th century dance music, but then it like transitions into Golden Years by David Bowie, and that transition is executed so well, and it is I love it so much. And this movie of course does a similar thing, not with like transitioning but blending it, I
Hmm.
think.
I guess another thing is the animation. Oh my god. The animation for this movie is so good.
Oh yeah, of course.
So it basically mixes 2D CGI and a computer kind of aided like a CAD kind of thing for it's called Deep Canvas. So they basically make the entire um
Well, I know
they basically
the ship was done entirely in deep canvas.
yes, the ship was entirely done in Deep Canvas, and this is why it in Deep Canvas was very very expensive to use back then, and this is why this movie cost 180 million dollars to make, was because they were constantly on the RLS legacy. Which, fun fact,
Oh yeah.
RLS is the initials of the original author of Treasure Island.
Oh, that's neat.
Okay, yeah, okay, I have it here. So Deep Canvas is 3D modeling. It was originally made for Tarzan, and it's typically only one color, so like a standard like gray color. So, for example, the default Blender cube that I like to joke about, and they basically they make the 3D model just very standard, generic kind of 3D model, and then they have the artists basically paint over it.
Yeah, and also in addition to the ship, the environment being deep canvas, they also, I don't know if it was deep canvas or just like general CGI, but they also did the same thing for Silver's like cyborg like
Right.
mechanical parts.
Silver's arm, which by the way, his arm is badass and I want one.
Oh
I would
yeah.
love to. I would chop off my arm for that. That'd be awesome. I want a fucking cyborg arm.
No, I would just add it on. I wouldn't replace a limb with it. I would just have I would have a fifth limb.
So Cyborg's arm, in addition to his leg, they were all done in CGI. So those were all made in CGI, and then the rest of his body was traditional 2D animation.
Yeah. Yeah, and this movie, like you mentioned, it was very expensive because they of
Mm-hmm.
course had to, blend deep canvas, a very expensive technology, with traditional hand drawn animation. They had to layer it, they had to make it blend well, which of course requires a lot of time and therefore money. So that kind of drove up the budget of the movie quite a bit. And Disney, like, well, when I was watching the video that you were talking about last week, Treasure Planet Disney's biggest mistake, my initial reaction was like, well, wouldn't Disney want to do as much marketing for this as possible and make a return on their investment, put it out in theaters, put it out not against Harry Potter.
Yep.
Wouldn't they want to make their money back on this one? But then I realized, like, oh well, if this movie succeeds, people are going to want them to make more, so they're going to make
Yep.
more risky, expensive movies.
Right. And they didn't want that, so that's why they set it up to fail.
Yeah, yeah, they had it going against the Santa Claus
The
2 and Harry
the
Potter,
first Harry Potter.
the
Yeah.
first Harry Potter. So they threw it in the lion's den. I
Which
mean, Harry Potter, like, the Harry Potter's just a fad, whatever. But the Santa Claus 2, you can't put a movie up against the Santa Claus 2. That's suicide.
that's suicide. I was about to say that. There was a sequel in the works for this movie. They had it all planned out, and then because of how they released this movie, well, they had to scrap it. They couldn't do anything. I think I also read online that they also had a Treasure Planet TV show as well.
Oh, that would have been so badass. But Disney definitely would never. They would never go for it. That would just be too expensive, I'd think. But boy, would it be awesome.
They need to make they either need to make a Treasure Planet reboot or they need to make a Treasure Planet 2.
Yeah,
None
well,
of the
it seems like
stupid
it.
none of the stupid Lion King shit where it's all like
Oh
CG.
yeah,
Not that. I'm talking about traditional hand-drawn animation. Take the people who grew up on old Disney shit and that, are like classic 2D animators and want to do that shit. Hire them, tell them, "Hey, you're going to work with John Musker and you're going to make this movie, as good as the original, and it's going to cost a lot less because technology has advanced." You know what? Fuck it. Make the whole movie in RTX. Make it all ray traced. Make the ship ray traced, Disney.
yeah. I worry if they did do some kind of reboot or sequel or whatever for Treasure Planet. I mean, of course, I would want to see it regardless, but I would be afraid that they'd lean into that, like, like how they did the live action Tarzan, the live action Mulan, the Lion King, all that stuff. They would
Yeah.
just make it this like this colorless, bland, generic feeling sci-fi movie
I would
with
be
like
so
with
pissed.
spectacular CGI, but ultimately no sense of style.
There's no heart.
Yeah. I feel like that's a greater issue with just movies in general now, or like even like just computer graphics, even in video
Mhm.
games. Like they strive for photorealism, but there's no like style to it. Like it's just make this, this game or this movie, make the computer graphics as realistic looking as possible, when really like cell shaded games like Ultimate Spider-Man on the PlayStation 2 holds up better than a lot of stuff that strived for photorealism even just a few years ago, because it has a sense of style that it sticks to. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what Treasure Planet has, with this 2D animation blended on top of CGI and deep canvas. And well, if they were gonna do another Treasure Planet movie, I can't imagine it would be nearly as expensive with modern technology. So
No.
like, get on it, Disney. Look, Disney, I know you're listening right now. Get on it. Get on it, Mr. Disney. Get on it, the frozen head of Walt Disney.
Okay, remake or make a sequel to Treasure Planet, and then make the Treasure
While you're
Planet
at it,
PC
release
game.
Shrek 5.
Make the Treasure Planet PC game online. Make it like an online real
And add
time
RTX support.
and add RTX support. So basically make it StarCraft 2, but Treasure Planet. I want to see this shit.
Yes.
I want to see this at I was going to say Evo, but that's for fighting games. But I want to see esports. I want to see competitive Treasure Planet. You know what? Fuck it. Make it an MMORPG where people can sail across the Ethereum, and they can like basically make Sea Thieves and put it in space. Basically, that's all you have to do.
Yeah, like there's already so much Ethereum. That's why we can't have graphics cards anymore. Just put shit in the Ethereum. Make the Ethereum into Treasure Planet. Make Treasure Planet in real life.
You know what?
Let's regress back 400 years fashion wise, but progress 3000 years technology wise. Make it happen. Make it happen, society. I know you're listening. I know you're listening, society.
Society. So interesting. So I'm scrolling through the Wikipedia article for the original Treasure Island. Treasure Planet was the last film ever released. Oh, hold on, my bad. The last English released film. So technically, it's the last one. It's the best one.
Yeah. And we can top it. We can top it with today's technology. We have ray tracing graphics cards. We can make Treasure Planet but better and stronger and faster. So anyway, concluding thoughts. Treasure Planet, best movie ever. Absolute artistic masterpiece.
So good.
Totally recommend it. If you have not seen it up to this point, what's it like not caring about spoilers? And also, go watch it. It's on Disney Plus. It absolutely holds up even after we've spoiled everything. It's such a good movie. It definitely holds up on repeated viewings.
There is a
It's
Treasure
great.
Planet Blu-ray.
Yeah, how much is the Blu-ray?
The Blu-ray is kind of expensive. $19.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh,
Oh,
well,
hold
hold
on.
on.
It's the Spanish Blu-ray.
It looks like it's $10 from
Oh yes, for
Walmart,
the
Target, and Best
multi-format.
Buy, and on Amazon.
Yep. Or you can buy the
Region free
DVD,
too.
which is what I have for $1.90. Or you can also buy the VHS tape, which I also have for $23. Yes, I own two
God, it's
copies of
gonna be
Treasure
like Adam
Planet.
Sandler's Click all over again.
I want to collect every single version of Treasure Planet, and you know what? I think I might do that because I love this movie. This movie is so good. Also, the song "I'm Still Here" from Treasure Planet, so good. I still listen to it like till this day.
Yeah. This movie's music, the soundtrack is just so good. Everything about this movie is just incredible. By the way, I'm looking on Amazon. The Blu-ray is $9.18. DVD $9.21.
Hmm.
So get the Blu-ray or just have Disney Plus. Either way,
or just
either
have
way,
Disney
watch
Plus.
it
Yeah, either way, watch this movie. It's amazing.
for sure. All right, so this is gonna be put in as an insert because we forgot to record this. But for next week's movie recommendation of the week, I am going to recommend Sing Street. It's a movie about, it's a coming of age story about these kids in an Irish Catholic school in the 80s. That they form a band and a lifelong friendship. And the guy tries to get the girl, and he writes songs, and it's awesome. Go check it out. You have a week starting now to watch the movie, and then we will give our review for it next week. All right, now back to the regularly scheduled programming. So anyway, do you want to get into recommendations of the week?
Sure. Recommendations. So you go ahead and do yours because I think that's your link. I don't know what this is.
No, that's just the Elon Musk video.
Oh, okay.
Just
Gotcha.
putting it there
Gotcha.
so I
Gotcha.
remember to link it. So you can get into your recommendation. I don't think I have any for this week, but I'm gonna look through my YouTube history. Let me see if I can pull something.
It's definitely not going to be as much
Oh,
as
I do have a recommendation actually.
go for it.
Let me get it added. You can go through yours first.
Okay. So it's definitely going to be not as much as last week. So the first one, so I actually saw this pop up on Twitter. So if you know anything about me, I love Super Smash Brothers. I played Melee / Project M / 4 / Ultimate for 5-6 years. Just had a whole lot of fun with it. So anything like Super Smash Brothers related, especially like the history, because I'm a huge video game history buff. I love it. So there's a video called Elevated: The Development Story of Super Smash Bros. Melee. It is a hour and 11-minute long video, and it goes through all of the development of the entire game. So from the conception, early development, characters and items, stages, story, game mode and features, music and sound, opening movie, stage music, sound effects, voice acting, early menu designs, animations, unused sound effects and fanfares, the reveal at E3, which holy shit, people lost their mind when they saw this game. Went over the early development of the E3 build, fan theories. They talked about some of the tournaments, some of the merchandise that they released. And they also talked about the impact that Super Smash Bros. Melee had on the competitive fighting scene. Keep in mind, this game released in 2001, and it is still being played at a competitive level 20 years later. So I highly recommend it. I highly recommend this this documentary. Very, very little views. Only 27,000 views from a YouTuber that only has 12,000 subscribers. Came out 9 days ago. Highly recommended. And the other one is from a YouTuber called Mystic, and he mainly covers PlayStation stuff. But what I really like from him is the documentaries that he did. As you can tell, I really like my documentaries. So he talked about the transition from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 5 graphics, the entire PS3 documentary, basically talking about how Sony and PlayStation were on top for the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2, and they really stumbled hard with the PlayStation 3. But actually, in the end, they actually won that console war. Well, not against Nintendo, but against Xbox. So they got second. He talked about PlayStation Home, which was like a online kind of like VR chat-esque kind of world. He talked about the PSP, the 2011 PSN hack. Really, really good, actually. He goes into really good detail on it. PS3 versus the Xbox 360, how the PS4 dominated the now last generation of consoles, in the history of the PS Vita. So really, really cool documentaries. And then the last thing, real quick, if you have a PS3 or a PS4, play The Last of Us. Not 2, not the second one, the original. Play The Last of Us.
Yeah, I have The Last of Us
good.
remastered. I started it, and it's really good.
Didn't the beginning almost make you cry?
Oh yeah, there's so much sad stuff in this.
I know,
It's
but it's so good.
Yeah, what I really like about it is like how unique it feels for being like
Mhm.
a post-apocalyptic like zombie apocalypse story, because like those
Right.
tend to be like fairly generic feeling.
Right.
Like,
This was during the whole era of the Walking Dead shit.
oh yeah, like World War Z, The Walking Dead. When it comes to the world building, it's usually just like, oh, there's a virus and it turns people into zombies, and then like the deep part of the show or movie is like the character interactions. The Last of Us has the well written characters and like it's like a character drama and stuff, but it also has a really unique feeling world, and the zombies aren't just like a one tone like, oh, brains, like there's different types, and there's the virus, the zombie virus progresses in an interesting way because it's like a fungus based virus.
Hmm.
It's not just like, oh, it turns you into the maniac that wants to eat people.
It slowly changes over time.
Yeah, it turns you into like a mushroom creature, and it seems to be based on like a real life type of like parasite that infects ants, and it's a really cool. It's really cool.
Oh, really quick, just had a news flash from IGN. Sony is now expecting the PS5 shortage to last into 2022.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that makes
we're never
sense. We
getting
can't have nice things.
you're never gonna get one. Nobody's ever gonna get one.
No
If
one no one has ever had a PlayStation 5. Anyone that claims to have gotten their hands on a PlayStation 5, anyone that claims to have seen a PlayStation
it's
5
fake.
is a damn dirty liar.
So so Sony's like slogan for the PS5 is play has no limits. Yeah, it does. Cuz nobody can
Play
get the
has a
console.
number of
Play
limits.
has limits.
Play has succumbed to market forces. But anyway, play The Last of Us. I recommend the remastered version for PlayStation 4.
Yes, the remastered version is the best version. Runs at 1080p, 60 FPS. You get the DLC with the game. I think it includes a whole bunch of bonus content for multiplayer if you're into that. But still, the PS3 version is still really good. That's how I played it. I went through the main story on PS3. Then when I got my PS4, I played the DLC Left Behind, which is it's very short, but it's very very good.
Yeah. So anyway, last recommendation. This is a YouTube channel I want to recommend specifically. His latest video. So the channel is Sean's Crafts, and the video is DIY Captain America magnetic shield. It's he made a cardboard replica of Captain America's shield, and it turns out really good. It looks awesome, and he uses magnets to like hold it to his arm and to his back and stuff. Looks great. It's awesome. It's very doable if you're into that kind of thing, which I am. But he also does a lot of like making Spider-Man's web shooters out of like cardboard and magnets and fishing line, and it's just a cool little thing he's done. He did a cardboard Iron Man helmet that has like a face, like the faceplate like flips up. It's super cool stuff if you're crafty like that, or if you like cosplay. Great channel, link in description. He's awesome. And yeah, I think that's the show. Thank you for listening to another episode of Bold of You to Say. If this is your first time here, first of all, thank you for checking us out. If you like what we do here, look at some more of our episodes, listen to them, download them. If you want to support the show, we have a page on TeePublic. We have one design so far. We're working on getting more out there. But yeah, we have one design, Muscle Rock. Get yourself a Muscle Rock shirt, Muscle Rock hoodie, a little button or a fridge magnet that helps keep the lights on. We also have a donation link. You absolutely do not have to give anything. I wouldn't say it's a good financial decision, but I will leave it up to you. But anyway, Remember to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell. Turn on notifications for new episodes. Turn on automatic downloads. Share the show with a friend. We have a clips channel that I occasionally upload to when I have the time and energy to put out clips. But yeah, share those, tweet them out, get more eyes and ears on the show. Leave a comment if you're listening on YouTube, or you can tweet at us. Tweet at us with what you thought we said that was awesome. If you have any criticisms, keep them to yourself. Okay, like we're trying to have a good time and just vibe, and that really like it harshes our mellow. Leave us a review on Podchaser. That's like an IMDb site for podcasts. Leave us preferably a positive review. That'll help us out. I think that helps us out in the algorithm or something. The great algorithm. Follow us on social media. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok. Follow Jake on social media. Twitter.com/Azzy_rivals. Twitch.tv/Azzy_rivals. And yeah, just have a good night. Have a good 9 a.m. through 9 p.m. because those are our official business hours. And good night. Good night, everyone.
Have a good one.